Madai. Madai. Paryanta. Up to them. Anyera. Of others. Ka. What to speak. Kata. Words. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. So the purport is very long, but as I say always, very interesting. These are two very special verses, 19 and this one. Oh, this phone, sorry, old edition phone. Sometimes things disappear. Please, Umadari Shakti. Okay, let's try. Translation. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has freely given this love of Krishna everywhere and anywhere, even to the most fallen, such as Jagai and Madai. What to speak of those who are already pious and elevated? Already pious and elevated. What to speak? Purport. The distinction between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's gift to human society and the gifts of others is that whereas so-called philanthropic and humanitarian workers have given some relief to human society as far as the body is concerned, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offers the best facilities for going back home, back to Godhead, with love of Godhead. Best facilities for going back home, back to Godhead, with love of Godhead. If one seriously makes a comparative study of the two gifts, certainly, if he is at all sober, he will give the greatest credit to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was with this purpose that Kaviraj Goswami said, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Kara Vichara, Vichara Karile Chitte Pabe Chamatkara. If you are indeed interested in logic and argument, kindly apply it to the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you do so, you will find it to be strikingly wonderful. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila, text Adilila 8, text 15. Srila Narottama Das Thakur says, so I don't read the Sanskrit, go a little more further. The two brothers, Jagai and Madai, epitomize the sinful population of this age of Kali. They were most disturbing elements in society because they were meat-eaters, drunkards, woman hunters, rogues, and thieves. Yet, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered them to say nothing of others who were sober, pious, devoted, and conscientious. Thank you. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that to say nothing of the Brahminically qualified devotees and Rajarsis, Kim Punar Brahmana Punya Bhakta Rajarsayas Tata, anyone who by the association of a pure devotee comes to Krishna consciousness become eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. In the Bhagavad Gita 9:32, the Lord thus declared, Osano Prita, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, and Sudras, workers, can attain the supreme destination. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered the two fallen brothers, Jagai and Madai, but the entire world is presently full of Jagais and Madais. Or, in other words, woman hunters, meat eaters, gamblers, thieves, and other rogues who create all kinds of disturbances in society. The activities of such persons have now become common practices. It is no longer considered abominable to be drunkard, woman hunter, meat eater, thief, and rogues, for these elements have been assimilated by human society. That does not mean, however, that the abominable qualities of such person will help free human society from the clutches of Maya. Rather, they will entangle humanity more and more in the reactions of the stringent laws of material nature. One's activities are all performed under the influence of moods of material nature. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa. Because people are now associating with the moods of ignorance, tamoguna, and to some extent passion, rajoguna, with no trace of goodness, sattvaguna, they are becoming increasingly greedy and lusty. For that is the effect of associating with these moods. By associating with the two lower qualities of material nature, one becomes lusty and greedy. Bhagavatam 1:19. Actually, in modern human society, everyone is greedy and lusty, and therefore the only means for deliverance is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement, which can promote all the jagais and madais to the topmost position of Sattvaguna or Brahminical culture. Srimad Bhagavatam 1:18-19 states, considering the chaotic condition of human society, if one actually wants peace and tranquility, one must take to the Krishna consciousness movement and engage always in Bhagavata Dharma. Engagement in Bhagavad Dharma dissipates all ignorance and passion. And when ignorance and passion are dissipated, one is freed from greed and lust. When freed from greed and lust, one becomes Brahminically qualified, and when a Brahminically qualified person makes further advancement, he becomes situated on the Vaishnava platform. It is only on this Vaishnava platform that it is possible to wake one's dormant love of Godhead. And as soon as one does so, his life is successful. At present, human society is specifically cultivating the mood of ignorance. Although there may also be some symptoms of passion, full of karma and lobha, lust and greed. The entire population of the world consists mostly of Sudras and a few Vaishyas. And gradually it is coming about that there are Sudras only. Communism is a movement of Sudras, and capitalism is meant for Vaishyas. In the fighting between these two factions, the Sudras and Vaishya gradually, due to the abominable condition of society, the communists will emerge triumphant. And as soon as takes place, whatever is left of society will be ruined. The only possible remedy that can counteract the tendency toward communism is the Krishna consciousness movement, which can give even communists the real idea of communist society. According to the doctrine of communism, the state should be the proprietor of everything. But the Krishna consciousness movement, expanding the same idea, accepts God as the proprietor of everything. People cannot understand this because they have no sense of God. But Krishna consciousness movement can help them to understand God and to understand that everything belongs to God Since everything is the property of God and all living entities, not only human beings but even animals, birds, plants, and so on. Not only human beings, but even animals, birds, plants, and so on are children of God. Everyone has the right to live at the cost of God with God consciousness. This is the sum and substance of this Krishna consciousness movement. Srila Prabhupada ki. The translation of the verse again. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has freely given this love of Krishna everywhere and anywhere, even to the most fallen, such as Jagai and Madai. What to speak of those who are already pious and elevated? Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Did you understand something? Hai capito? Hai capito tutto? Ho cercato di essere più italianizzato possibile. Wow, while reading this verse, Prabhupada was writing this purport now, 50 years ago, huh? But I feel like he's speaking of today more and more. I'm sorry to say. It's really, the world is getting more and more crazy, and this lust and greed, this, we are the controller, we are the owner of everything belongs to us, everyone, left and right, everyone. We are the owner, no one else. But anyway, I don't want to go to speak this, but more on this point, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, our mercy, the Mahavadanyaya, the most merciful, has given this to everyone freely. Now, thanks to Panindra, I remember so much, because I was in the same situation. I'm speaking about these people, but I was in the same situation. And first time, I was thinking this morning, how merciful Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because I was one of them, just a lost soul in nowhere, no man lands, and really lost. But one night I was, sorry to say, really high, but it was evening time. I was in a barn because I like so much nature, with a friend that he was already, I think, a couple of times in India, and he liked so much India, and then we were chanting all kinds of names, everything, from Jesus to Ram, to Shiva, Ganesh, Buddha, everything. We were making bhajan, chanting all kinds of names. But that evening, it changed my life, because I was in the barn. My friend was milking a cow. He had one cow. And then we heard the door of the barn open. And then we turned to see, as I said, I was really high, but I turned and I saw. And I was an extra being, with human form, but still he was completely shaved, with the strange sign in the forehead. He had the brown, like this, brown chadar all around, but so shining, so shining. Prabhudas. You know Prabhudas? Yes. The first devotee I saw. And this changed my life. Then later he was giving a program in another house. And then I got Bhagavad Gita, I got the Japa. And then after, I think it was winter time, after a few months I come to Villa Vrindavan the first time. And this is all to the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The most fallen soul, he comes to deliver. And he gives this wonderful, this mercy unconditionally and anywhere and everywhere to everyone. And I don't know, but today times go so fast. I don't know why. Just a little story about this because one other friend sent me, we are sharing, some inspiration. And this is, he sent to me just 2 days ago. This is very connected. To give this love of God, this mercy to everyone and everywhere. Memories, there are Prabhupada memories. I don't know, maybe for young generation is already something past, but sometimes we really get really good inspiration to go on. And so that this is a memory from one Mataji from England. She became devotee in 71. And she's speaking is quite long, but I want to just to point some few points. And when she said that she was given initiation in 72, and when Prabhupada gave her the name, and he gave her the name Astasaki Devidasi. And normally she said, not Prabhupada was just giving a name and the japa and that's it, but to her, he called her more near, and he said, you know what means Astasaki? Shishi Radha Madam Mohan ki jai, Shishi Gaunitai ki jai. Asta means, Saki means friend. Friend. And Prabhupada told, you should be a friend of everyone. So, and then she went through many things. Her life was not so easy. But still she became a good cook, became a devotee, and then she was cooking for Radha London Ishvara and Radha Gokulananda, and then she was also a Sankirtan leader. She was distributing that time Back to God magazines. There were no books still, only magazines. And she told the story how they were carrying, I don't know how many copies of this, with the train going to some place, and Indian shop, they were putting the magazine inside the shop to keep. Then they were distributing so many, so much. And they said that I think they made the world record of Back to God magazine distribution, and so on. So she became a Sankirtan leader. But also in the meantime, she got married. She even got 2 girls. And as said, then after some time, unfortunately, the husband left her and she was in problem. And then she asked the authority to take on help. And the authority told the GPC at that time, we don't say the name, told, you can keep 1 day a week for yourself to maintain yourself. This is something, something we should think about because there is so much discussion going on. Anyway, we don't go to detail, but the authority said you can keep 1 day a week for yourself. And then she 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 had a bank account, and this profit from the Sankirtan, from the distribution, everything gone through her bank account. And this, at that time, according to the law, England law, this was a charity movement. All donations should be given to the temple and so on. But, when you collect Lakshmi, you put first in the bank and then it goes through. And then one day in England law, they changed the law. And somehow, at that time, I don't know if you remember, also in Germany, we had so many problems with this problem. When we were going in Sankirtan, many times police stopped the Sankirtan devotee. So in England they did. And the devotee had to run away. And she said, I was really fast. I was running away very fast. But somehow or other, one time, they got her. And they were checking her bank account. And they said, this is too much money for you. How come you have so much money? And then she managed not to speak all the truth. Somehow or other, Krishna protect her to say all the truth. But according to the law, she lost the court case and she had to go to the jail. So she was in prison, and also she has some physical problem. Her legs, some problem with the legs, heavy problems. So they put first in the she speak about there was an open prison and a closed prison. And before she was in a closed prison, open prison, no, sorry, if I remember correct, first in the closed prison, okay? But she was sick, okay? After a few days, they have to bring her to the hospital, and then from the hospital, 2 days in the hospital, they brought her back, and they said, you cannot stay here because your condition bring you to the open prison. And then they when they brought her to the open prison, they give her a room. And in this room, she could chant. She could read Bhagavad Gita. She had a Bhagavad Gita. She had picture of Krishna. And so on. And it happened that she said it was not sleeping. And Prabhupada heard the voice of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada told her, if you stick chanting 6 rounds all at once, you will see things will change. Things will change for you. And she was surprised. She heard Prabhupada, but she was awake. Heard this voice. And she did so. In the meantime, she was there in this open prison with this room, but all the women in that prison, there were many, and they were coming to her. They saw that she was some kind of, she knows about life, she knows how to deal with life, she can help them to deal with the situation. And they were going, everyone were going there and speaking and sharing problems and sharing situations. And she was giving her heart friendly to them, like a friend, a good friend. This was going on for 1 week, something like that. Not so long time. And after 1 week, she has to go to the hospital again because of her problem. So she went to the hospital. And when she was to the hospital, she came back and she saw they steal everything inside the room. She knew 2 girls. They took a Bhagavad Gita, Krishna picture, everything. When the other heard about this, that they took everything, all the other prisoners, all the other women of the prison, they make a strike. They stand, in the open space. They stand there and didn't move anymore. So the director, the prison chief, went to her. So I don't know what to do. You must help us. Go to them and speak to them. They don't move anymore because they took things from you. And she went there and tried to speak with them, but they said, no, until we don't find your Bhagavad Gita, or they said, your Bible and your God pictures, we don't move anymore. And so, then the chief of the prison said, okay, let's search. And they started searching everywhere, every room, every space in the kitchen, even in the garbage, in the garbage ton. And they found Bhagavad Gita inside the garbage ton. And they found Krishna's picture inside. So, and then what happened, they said they give back the things. And then the chief of the prison again went to her and said, you see, now everyone listens to you, and they don't listen to me anymore. I don't know anymore what to do. How can I manage this prison? And she went to the chief government, said, what can I do? Go and speak with this woman. She should speak with them. This is something that never happened before, at that time. And the chief of the prison went again to her and said, I don't know, they don't listen anymore to me. I send you back home. And they release her out of the prison. This is only due to the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These souls, they need mercy. And she had to go through all this. This was really an amazing experience, and this is what I was thinking also. Sometimes we make, I'm sorry to say, but we make discrimination. If we see someone who has some problem, big problem, said we cannot deal. Many times I went through and I saw many situations when some soul were coming to the temple and somehow to their condition, we could not, temple authority, they could not keep them, you cannot stay in the temple. And this is not the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'm sorry to say, I don't know, but this is what is written. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is giving freely to everyone. And with whom he start? With the most fallen. Not only the most fallen, he said Brahminical, not to elevate themselves, but they were coming from a Brahman family. You know Jagai Madai, everyone knows Jagai Madai. We don't go into the story of Jagai Madai. But the point is really that we, somehow or other, we have to learn how to deal. I tell you another story, and then I finish. About this point. Last year, I was in a beautiful temple nearby Wien in Austria. I was in this temple. It is a Gaudiya Math temple, not ISKCON, but they all called me for help, and somehow I went there a couple of weeks and helped them. And there was a situation, a girl, young girl, will come to the temple, and she already come from the background, really, depressed, and she was taking tablets to keep herself balanced, okay? But then when she come to the temple, she said, I don't want to take any more tablets. And she was really special. I don't go to detail, but I saw her. She's still there. And it's really, really special, And the devotee didn't know anymore what to do. And they tried to send her back home, but she didn't want. The devotee called the police at one point. They could not stand anymore. Police come, they saw the situation, and police said to the devotees, we cannot help you. We don't take this girl out. You should keep. You understand the point? And she's still there. And it was there till I was there. And this is the point. What is Mahavadanyaya? What means to be merciful? Sometime, of course, now we are speaking, but it's not easy, We have extreme cases, I remember when I was in Simachalam once, a really extreme case, some, killer or someone will come and somehow or other. Police, 10 cars of police come and took him. But the point is, we have to give somehow or other our mercy to everyone. In every situation we are. Now in our time, we are more, you see, in the temple, was 30, even more, 30 years ago. More devotees were in the temple, less devotees outside. But now we are outside and not always engaged in the Harinam or book distribution. We are living with people, normal people, every day. We are working outside, we are dealing outside, and we can somehow or other give this mercy to everyone freely. You have enough of me? Tutto chiaro? Huh? I read you the verse again. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has freely given this love of Krishna everywhere and anywhere, even to the most fallen, such as Jagai and Madai. What to speak of those who are already pious and elevated. So now, if you want, we can speak about Jagai and Madai. It's okay. I don't know if...
Very simple person was, I'm sitting here.
And?
I'm sitting here. Doing talking, traveling around and chanting. So everybody can take it. Not everybody wants to take it. That's the problem.
We have to try anyway to give it to everyone we meet. I mean, I am here. I'm in my flat. I'm doing seva here. Only people I meet are doctors in the last years, honestly speaking, dentists and doctors. But really special things happen. Somehow or other, always end to speak about I am Hare Krishna. I'm reading Bhagavad Gita, and so on and so forth. And this is, So some other comment? Someone want to share some experience or question or whatever?
I think in the comment was some the pies, I don't know literal, but say the pies have more opportunity. What is say the pies?
Pious.
Pious people.
Pious people. Yes.
More opportunity to say that.
In this case, it refers, I believe, to the one who already have somehow or other come too near to Krishna, near to God, or some background, I don't know, it come to my mind, like, for example, I'm coming from a Christian family. This maybe helped me to come to Krishna consciousness. Even as I told, I was quite lost for 20 years. But through the mercy with my mother, she was really pious. She was, a Christian, a real bhaktin, going to the church, every program for the church, and so on and so forth. Even if Christian only attract me because there was a football field and ping pong table and so on and so forth, but somehow or other. And pious, someone who already has some good activity, some good or karma or whatever, But that doesn't mean that I'm pious. Like this Jagai and Madai, they were coming from a Brahmin family. What they did for many years, we don't go to details, but then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts from them. Why? It's connected, pious and...
Even to say, this pious is not, you can, with pious activity, you cannot approach devotional service. It's the mercy only.
No,
For example, your family say, you have the family pious. In my family is opposite. In my family, nobody's religious. Nobody. My father, my brother, nobody.
But I'm sure you have a nice story how you come to Krishna consciousness. Sometimes we can, as sometimes we have to get rid of some karma. Maybe last life you just heard Sankirtan devotee, I don't know, going and do Harinam somewhere in Peru. Or I don't know if you really come from that country, where you come from. Then you have to go through some purification, isn't it? We have to go through purification. And then Krishna again. Krishna never forget about us. Always give possibility. Even if we lose ourselves for some time, even if for some time we get a little far from Him, we lose Him, but He's always with us, always listening. Just one time a little step towards Him, you know the story. If you do one step towards Him, how many steps He does towards us? How many? 10 steps. We just have to go on, doesn't matter what. Doesn't matter what. I mean, it's important to know where we come from, maybe, but we have to know where we have to go. Yes, please.
For me, it was interesting that I landed in a family with alcohol drinkers and meat eaters. And I was the only one, as a child even, I was praying a lot, I was very pious, and I hated to eat meat. I hated it. I was just forced to eat meat. I was thinking, why did I land in a family like this? Why are we here? Why? And later I understood that when everybody is the same in the family, then they will not question what they're doing. But when there's somebody who's doing something different, like when I later started drinking water instead of alcohol, and just stopped eating meat, they were had a totally crisis in the family. Everybody has to think about what am I doing now? Is that what also my friends the same? When I started drinking about water instead of alcohol and no more meat anymore, they had a crisis with me. Just like, come on, eat something good with us, drink something that's good with us. It's just no problem. Just let me drink water. You drink your alcohol, no problem. But they had a problem, so they had to think about what they are doing. That's maybe the reason why we land in families like this. That they have also the chance to us just to make advancement in spiritual life or just take to spiritual life. Like my mother did that also later. When she had a stroke and she was paralyzed. And I took care of her for 2 years until she passed away. And before that, she was also a drunkard, not really, but she drank a lot of alcohol. She was meat eater, 78 years. And when these 2 years, she was hearing Hare Krishna mantra 2 years, day and night, and she completely transformed into Hare Krishna by this. So this is how the mercy is working.
And this is the best way to preach. Huh? My father was doing wine inside the house. I was helping him to make wine every year. He was buying grapes and we were making wine. He was drinking only wine, no water. but then also in the end, for the last 3 months, we were together. And even I convinced him to make 2 weeks only rice, this rice cure, to eat only rice. For 2 weeks, he eat only rice, 1 or 2 times a day. And this is the best way. Prabhupada said, first of all, we have to preach to our families members. This is the best, isn't it? you left them. You left them long ago. Anyway, different way. By your pious.
They preach to me.
Anyway, by your pious activities, you make free 10 generation from the past. Thank you very much. Nice to be with you. Shri Radha Madhaman ki Shri Gaunitai ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Gora Prema Hanande Hari Hari Bo.